This is part 3 of providing services and counseling, which is the process and reintegration, which also correlates with our trauma-informed care that we talked about earlier. So this is great. It works out perfect. The trauma-informed care focuses on what happened to you instead of what is wrong with you. So this is great for the clients to understand that it's something that happened to the client and it is not their fault. This gets a complete picture of the client and also recognizes the client for their own experiences and not about your own experiences or between clients. The intervention, according to the trauma-informed care, is safety and stabilization. So we need to attend to the very basic needs, first being the shelter for the client and obviously food, water. Connecting them to resources. You can't house people as a individual counselor. It's unethical, but you can get them to shelters that are able to help them with that. Needs of self-care. So this may seem interesting as a basic need, but it is something that is needed on a daily basis, but also something that is empowering the client to take back for themselves. Supporting the client. This is supporting the client even when they're in the domestic violence, and understanding that this step may continue and repeat itself multiple times. Step 2 of intervention, according to the trauma-informed care, is processing of traumatic material. Recognizing that there is a grieving process, so that's where the loss aspect comes in for crisis trauma and loss for the class. So the grieving process of the traumatic situation. Recognizing that there is a point of moving on, a point of that it is in the past and it shall remain there. There is a need to process the trauma and to move forward from it. The purpose is to acknowledge the experience and normalize the emotions that went along with the experience. So it is normal to react the way that you did in that traumatic situation, and it's okay to recognize that. The reconnecting and reintegration part is the third part that we mentioned before in trauma-informed care. So in this phase, it may be years after experiencing domestic violence, but what you want to be doing is developing a new sense of yourself and taking back what does it mean to be myself again without this domestic abuse. As well as with the self, noting the healthy relationships and what did those look like, because relationships will continue, new relationships will develop, but how do you do that in a healthy way? What are some signs of healthy relationships?